US, if you get injured in a mass shooting, are you on the hook for your own medical bills? Yes. In the US you are on the hook for your own medical bills no matter how the injury came about. If you have health insurance they will typically cover most of it. But ultimately the patient is responsible for the bills. If you're injured at work, provided your employer has insurance, the employer will cover it. But if you're just shot in the street, that medical bill is yours. You can take the shooter to civil court and ask the court to make the shooter pay it. But until then you're going to keep getting the bills. Funeral costs are the family's problem too, unless someone else steps in to pay it. It's going to depend on where you are. First, you'll get treated by an ER. Regardless of insurance, that's not full service. ER's job is to make sure you're still breathing when you leave. Follow-up care, physical therapy, meds, etc., is not their job. Second, if you don't have insurance or Medicaid or Medicare you can be on the hook. Several states have a victims' compensation fund which may cover some medical. Follow-up care is a bit more difficult if you're uninsured. In USA you're always on the hook, even when you have insurance. You can file for crime victims' compensation through your state's Attorney General's office and they will typically cover those bills. Too bad you can't pay medical bills with thoughts and prayers. My dad was working when he was killed in one, so workers' comp paid. Otherwise it would have been his medical insurance. I've never seen a sentence more evident of the failure of America as this one. How, mass? If it makes the national news, you might get more than thoughts and prayers. Set up a GoFundMe and get your mother out there crying on camera. This is the most US problem I've ever seen. Yep, it's the cost of freedom. You should be proud that you were selected and sacrificed your body for the altar of freedom. Some states have victim compensation programs that will help cover the costs. My son was the victim of a violent crime several years ago. He is fine now. In addition to working with our insurance, the hospital social worker helped him to fill out the application for California's Victim Compensation Fund. It will pay toward burial costs, cleanup, medical care, counseling, and a whole host of other things. With a cap of I think $100,000. He was approved but we didn't end up needing to use it. I agree that an insurance deductible of $6,000 or whatever isn't affordable. My son's care cost more than $200,000 and our insurance covered it. At whatever their standard rate is. I was very glad to have the insurance when it came down to it. Coming up with our $2,500 deductible would have been a lot easier than the $200,000. We were very fortunate that the hospital wrote off the deductible. If they hadn't, we would have submitted it to victim compensation. We were also given the opportunity to submit any costs for restitution during the court process. States with expanded Medicaid also may cover costs. My brother was hit by a drunk driver and was almost killed. He did not have health insurance and the hospital got him signed up for medical, which saved him from hundreds of thousands of dollars of medical debt. It all isn't right and no one should have to be worrying about cost in what is almost certainly the worst time of their life. This is just insane. We should not have a daily mass shooting at schools, church, shopping malls, or concerts. No place is safe for any of us. Insurance has not caught up with a daily mass shooting because before the Republicans crawled in the pockets of the NRA for money, life does not matter as long as it is me and my loved ones and not thee and their loved ones. They have round-the-clock protection we as taxpayers provide. The ban on assault rifles of war worked. But the new rebranded MAGA Republicans don't care if people die as long as theirs are safe with provided protection. The money the NRA gives freely is blood. M9 nay any MAGA REPUBLICAN will gladly accept as long as theirs are safe. Yes. It's sad and sick. You or your insurance is, at least initially, whoever had to pay out, either you or them, has a civil case to recover costs from the perpetrator or their estate. But whether there's money, there is going to be the luck of the draw. If it was someone with no assets, you can't magic money from them. Yes, you are on the hook for medical bills. You can sue the shooter. Probably cannot collect. And you can sue the place where the shooting happened, especially if they ban concealed carry, but it will take years to collect. Is that first-grade teacher who was shot by a kid responsible for her own bills? His life is already ruined. Is she now facing financial destruction as well? They don't care that people are getting shot. Why would they care about your medical bills? America. You are. But you can always use America's #1 insurance plan, GoFundMe. I was assaulted in Ohio, resulting in reconstructive surgery. There was a program called Crime Victim Services that picked up what my health insurance did not. Assaulter was found guilty of felonious assault and had to pay restitution, which he had to pay it all back. See here. I think it's so sad that these types of questions need to be asked. 1, because of the US gun laws, and 2, because the medical system in your country sucks. Yes, the rules are the same no matter what your injury is. But for any emergency, hospitals are required to treat you even if you can't pay. You'll just be in debt. Most people have health insurance, and those who don't can sue whoever was at fault for the injury and have their medical costs covered. You can even sue if you have health insurance. However, those trials can take a long time and lawyers cost money. But I don't want you to read this and think poor people automatically don't have health insurance. In America, people who make under a certain amount can qualify for Medicaid, which is health insurances either fully or partially subsidized by the government. The people who are most likely to be without coverage are the lower middle class who make too much to qualify for Medicaid but too little to afford health insurance and still be able to pay for rent. Universal healthcare would be insanely difficult for a country this size. I think the solution would be to have a higher limit for qualifying for Medicaid. And that cap shouldn't just be a set amount. It should be like taxes, where they take into account extra financial burdens like student loans, kids, etc.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.